You're listening to the Machuta podcast, bringing you the latest insights into transformational business, coaching, ABM, automated marketing, and AI solutions.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Machuta Micro podcast. And today I'm going to talk about one of the most dynamic roles in modern marketing, the fractional CMO, my job. Now, if you've been following the marketing landscape over the past few years, you've probably noticed a significant shift in how companies are approaching their senior marketing leadership. Gone are the days where every growing company immediately hired a full-time chief marketing officer with a six-figure salary, corner office, and a Mercedes out front. Instead, we're seeing an explosion in the fractional CMO model. Experienced marketing leaders, like myself, who work with multiple clients simultaneously, bringing expertise-level strategic thinking to organizations that might not be ready for or be able to afford a full-time executive. So today, we're going to deep dive into what I call the Fractional CMO Playbook, a comprehensive look at how these marketing leaders, like myself, can leverage growth hacking techniques and data-driven strategies to deliver exceptional results across multiple client portfolios. Whether you're a fractional CMO yourself, considering becoming one, or you're a business owner thinking about bringing someone like me on board, this episode is absolutely packed with actionable insights. And if you find any of this information useful, feel free to message me or book some Zoom time with me through my website at machuta.studio/Simon. Let's start by setting the stage. I'm a fractional CMO, but what exactly is a fractional CMO? And why has this role become so important? A fractional CMO is essentially a part-time chief marketing officer who works with multiple companies, typically on a contract or retainer basis. We bring all the expertise of strategy, experience, leadership you'd expect from a full-time CMO, but at a fraction of the cost and time commitment. We might work with you 1 or 2 days a week, or perhaps dedicate 20 hours per month to your organization. The beauty of this model is threefold. First, companies get access to senior level strategic thinking without the full-time salary burden. Second, fractional CMOs get to work with diverse clients across different industries, which keeps the work interesting and allows for cross-pollination of ideas. And third, because we're working with multiple clients simultaneously, we're constantly exposed to what's working right now in the market. We're not stuck in an echo chamber of a single organization. But here's where it gets really interesting and where growth hacking really comes into play. Traditional CMOs might spend months developing elaborate marketing strategies, building large teams, rolling out campaigns that take quarters to show results. Fractional CMOs don't have that luxury. We need to move fast, test quickly, and prove value rapidly. This is where growth hacking fundamentals become absolutely essential. So let me break down what I mean by growth hacking in this context. Growth hacking isn't just about finding clever tricks or gaming algorithms. Those can certainly be part of it. But at its core, growth hacking is about finding scalable, repeatable ways to grow a business through rapid experimentation across marketing channels and product development. It's about being resourceful, data-driven, and laser-focused on the metrics that actually matter. As a fractional CMO, growth hacking means coming into an organization quickly and identifying the highest leverage opportunities. It means running small-scale experiments before committing significant budgets. It means being comfortable with failure, as long as you're learning from it quickly and inexpensively. And most importantly, it means building systems that can continue to generate results, even when you're not physically present, which is crucial when you're splitting your time across multiple clients. So how do fractional CMOs actually implement growth hacking strategies? Let me walk you through a framework that I've seen work brilliantly across dozens of engagements. The first step is always rapid assessment and opportunity identification. When a fractional CMO comes into a new client relationship, we typically have a very short window to prove value. You might have 30 to 60 days before the client starts questioning whether this investment is worthwhile, so we need to move quickly. The best fractional CMOs I know start by conducting what I call a growth audit. This isn't a comprehensive marketing audit that takes weeks to complete. It's a focused examination of the key growth levers in the business. We're looking at things like where's the traffic currently coming from, what's the conversion rate at each stage of the funnel, what does customer acquisition costs look like across different channels, what's the lifetime value of a customer, are there any obvious leaks in the funnel where prospects are dropping off. This rapid assessment typically reveals a handful of high-impact opportunities. Maybe the website's conversion rate is abysmal because the value proposition isn't clear. Perhaps there's a significant amount of organic traffic, but it's not converting because the content doesn't align with buyer intent. Or possibly the company is spending heavily on paid advertising, but there's no system for nurturing leads once they come in. The key here is prioritization. A fractional CMO can't fix everything at once, and we shouldn't try. Instead, we need to identify one or two initiatives that will have the biggest impact in the shortest time frame. This is classic growth hacking thinking. Find the constraint in the system and focus all your energy on relieving it. Once you've identified these high leverage opportunities, the next phase is rapid experimentation. This is where the growth hacking mindset really shines. Rather than spending 3 months building out a perfect campaign, fractional CMOs design quick experiments that can be executed in days or weeks. Let me give you a concrete example. Say I've identified that the company's email marketing is underperforming. A traditional approach might be to overhaul the email marketing strategy, new templates, new automation sequences, new segmentation models, the whole works. This might take 2 or 3 months and significant budget. A growth hacking approach would be different. I might start with a simple A/B test on subject lines to see if we can immediately improve open rates. Then we test different call to actions and optimize click-through rates. Then perhaps we test sending times. Each of these experiments takes just a few days to set up and a week or two to gather meaningful data. Within a month, we've potentially doubled the effectiveness of the email program without any major infrastructure changes. This rapid experimentation approach has another huge advantage for fractional CMOs. It generates quick wins that build credibility with the client. When we walk into a monthly review meeting and say, we've increased email click-through rates by 73% last month through a series of targeted tests, we're demonstrating tangible value, and this builds trust and gives us the political capital to pursue larger, more strategic initiatives. Now let's talk about data-driven marketing, because this is absolutely fundamental to success as a fractional CMO. When we're working with multiple clients simultaneously, you simply cannot rely on gut feeling or intuition. You need data to guide the decisions, measure the progress, and demonstrate our value. But here's the challenge. Different clients will have different levels of data maturity. Some might have sophisticated analytics set up with custom dashboards and advanced attribution modeling. Others might be tracking nothing more than basic website traffic. As a fractional CMO, we need to be able to work effectively across this entire spectrum. For clients with limited analytics infrastructure, our first job is often to establish basic measurement systems. This doesn't need to be complicated. At a minimum, we should be tracking the website traffic across all of its sources, conversion rates at key stages of the funnel, customer acquisition cost by channel, and customer lifetime value. With just these 4 metrics, we can make surprisingly sophisticated decisions about where to invest marketing resources. The tool I recommend most often to clients who are just getting started with data-driven marketing is a simple dashboard that brings together these key metrics in one place. This might be a Google Data Studio dashboard pulling from Google Analytics, our CRM, and advertising platforms. The specific tool matters less than having a single source of truth that everyone in the organization can reference. For clients with more sophisticated analytics capabilities, our role shifts from setting up measurement systems to mining the data for insights. And this is where things can get quite interesting. You're looking for patterns, anomalies, opportunities that the client might have missed. Perhaps there's a particular traffic source that has an unusually high conversion rate, suggesting an opportunity to scale. Or maybe there's a specific point in the customer journey where drop-off rates spike, indicating a friction point that needs to be addressed. One of the most powerful data-driven techniques I've seen fractional CMOs use is cohort analysis. This involves grouping customers based on shared characteristics or experience and then tracking their behaviour over time. For instance, we might compare the lifetime value of customers acquired through different channels, or analyse how customers who attended a webinar compared to those who didn't. These insights can completely reshape our marketing strategy. Let me share a specific example on how data-driven decision-making played out in a recent client engagement. I was working with a B2C coaching company that was spending roughly equal amounts on content marketing and paid search advertising. The conventional wisdom in the company was that both channels were important and should receive similar investment. However, when I dug into the data, I discovered something fascinating. While paid search generated more leads overall, the cost per acquisition was nearly 3 times larger than content marketing. More importantly, when I looked at the customer lifetime value, customers who came in through content marketing had a retention rate 25% higher than those from paid search. Armed with this data, we made a bold recommendation. Dramatically scale back paid search spending and redirect those resources into content marketing. It was controversial within the company because it meant accepting fewer total leads in the short term, but the data was compelling and the leadership agreed to test the approach. 6 months later, the results were in. Overall customer acquisition costs had dropped by 40%, while customer lifetime value had increased by 15%. The company was growing faster and more profitably than ever before. All of this came from letting data rather than assumptions drive the strategy. So this brings us into one of the trickiest aspects of being a fractional CMO, balancing strategic thinking with tactical execution. This is genuinely one of the most challenging aspects of the role, and where some fractional CMOs struggle. The problem is this. Clients hire fractional CMOs like me because they need strategic leadership. But they often need help with the execution. And if we're working 1 or 2 days a week with a client, how do we ensure that the strategic vision actually gets implemented during these days when I'm not around? The answer lies in building what I call self-executing systems. These are processes, frameworks, and tools that allow the marketing function to continue operating effectively when I'm just not there. Let me give you some practical examples of what these self-executing systems look like. First, there's the editorial calendar for content marketing. Rather than deciding what content to create on an ad hoc basis, a fractional CMO will typically build out a comprehensive editorial calendar that maps content to different stages in the buyer journey and different audience segments. This calendar might extend 3-6 months in the future, with clear responsibilities assigned to internal team members or contractors. And similarly, for paid advertising, we want to establish clear frameworks for decision making. This might include guidelines for when to scale successful campaigns or when to pause unperforming ones, and how to allocate budget across different channels. We want to set up automated alerts for significant performance changes so the team knows when to bring me in for strategic decisions. Another crucial system is regular reporting cadence. I like to establish weekly or bi-weekly check-ins with clients, along with more comprehensive monthly strategic reviews. These meetings aren't just status updates. We're structuring these sessions with clear agendas that are focused on reviewing data, discussing test results, making decisions, and planning next steps. But here's the key insight. While you're building these systems and processes, you also need to be building the capabilities within the organization. The best engagements aren't ones where the fractional CMO does everything ourselves. They're the ones where the CMO elevates the skills and capabilities of the internal team. This might mean mentoring junior marketeers who show leadership potential and training the team on how new tools and techniques, or simply explaining the strategic rationale behind our decisions so that the team can start to think more strategically themselves. The goal is to create a lasting impact that extends beyond my involvement with the company. So let's talk a little bit about the tools and frameworks that makes all this possible. The Fractional CMO toolkit has evolved dramatically over the past few years, and having the right tools can make the difference between success and failure. From a growth hacking perspective, the most important category of tools is probably experimentation and testing platforms. These allow us to run A/B tests and multivariate tests quickly and effectively. For website optimization, tools like Optimizely or VWO are excellent. For email marketing, most modern email platforms like MailChimp or ConvertKit have a robust A/B testing built in. The key is to use these tools not just occasionally, but part of a systematic approach to continuous improvement. Another critical category is analytics and data visualization. Beyond Google Analytics, which is obviously fundamental, I'm a big fan of tools that aggregate data from multiple sources. Platforms like Supermetrics or Windsor.ai can pull data from advertising platforms, CRM, email marketing tools, and other sources into one significant dashboard. This makes it much easier to see the full picture of our marketing performance. For project management and collaboration, especially working across multiple clients, we need a robust system that keeps everything organized. Most fractional CMOs use tools like Asana or Monday or Notion, which is my preferred favorite tool to use, to manage projects, track tasks, and collaborate within teams. The specific tool matters less than having a consistent system that works well across all clients. One framework I think is particularly valuable for fractional CMOs is the Growth Model Canvas. This is a strategic planning tool that helps us plan out the key elements of a growth strategy in a single page. It includes sections for the target audience, the value proposition, the channels, the conversion triggers, retention strategies, and monetization model. I recommend creating one of these for each client and updating it quarterly. It serves as a North Star that keeps everyone aligned to the growth strategy. And another framework to mention is the ICE scoring system for prioritizing experiments and initiatives. So ICE stands for Impact, Confidence, and Ease. For each potential initiative, we can score it on these three dimensions, typical on a scale of 1 to 10. Impact is how much of a difference you expect this to make. Confidence is how certain we are to actually make that impact. And ease is how simple it is to implement. Multiply these scores together, and we've got a simple way to prioritize our backlog of ideas. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with some key takeaways. Whether you're a fractional CMO or becoming one or thinking about hiring somebody like myself. First, success as a fractional CMO requires a fundamentally different mindset than being a full-time executive. We need to move faster, test more frequently, and be more comfortable with ambiguity. The growth hacking mentality isn't optional, it's essential. Second, data must be at the center of everything that we do. Without robust measurement and data-driven decision-making, we're just guessing. And when we're working with multiple clients simultaneously, we cannot afford to guess. Third, build systems, not dependencies. Our goal is to create marketing functions that can operate effectively when we're not about. This means processes, frameworks, and capabilities that outlast my direct involvement. Fourth, prioritization is everything. You can't do everything at once, so you need to ruthlessly focus on the highest impact opportunities. Use frameworks like ICE scoring to make these decisions systematically rather than emotionally. And finally, never stop experimenting. The market is constantly changing. New channels, tactics emerge all the time. And what worked 6 months ago might not work today. The fractional CMOs who thrive are the ones who maintain a learning mindset and consistently evolve their approach. If you're a marketing professional considering becoming a fractional CMO, I encourage you to start developing these skills now. Begin running small experiments in your current job. Get comfortable with data analysis and visualization. Learn to build repeatable systems and processes. The demand for skilled fractional CMOs is only going to grow, and it's a fantastic time to position yourself in this space. Thank you so much for joining me today into this deep dive into the Fractional CMO Playbook. I hope you found some practical insights that you can apply to your own work, whether that be as a fractional CMO or as a marketing leader or a business owner looking to accelerate growth. If you enjoyed this episode, please do subscribe to the Matuta Micro podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a review if you're feeling generous. It genuinely helps us to allow us to get in front of more people. Like I said earlier, if you've got any questions or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, please reach out to me on my website at matuta.studio/Simon. Until the next time, keep testing, keep learning, and keep growing.
Thanks for listening to the Matuta podcast, bringing you the latest insights into transformational business, coaching, ABM, automated marketing, and AI solutions. If you liked this episode, please like, rate, and share.